What's up, NASA Report crew? We are back with a new review talking about MLB The Show 20 on the PlayStation 4. Figured it was time to branch out and talk about a sports game since I have focused on pretty much every other genre to this point. I give you guys my experience, perspective, my thoughts, and if this game really is worth your money or if you should pass on it. Now, before we dive in and talk more in depth about MLB The Show, let's go ahead and review the grading criteria really quickly. The graphics, which is the visual portion, performance, how the game runs, and then entertainment. Is it a game that you really are able to get a lot out of and enjoy? For a final score out of 30, and give you guys an idea of this game really is worth it. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the gameplay footage right here and start talking about the graphics. This is a look at T-Mobile Park. Since I'm a Mariners fan, I figured that this would be a good stadium and to take a look at it and if it looks really good or not. You see there's Mike Trout. I think the visuals of the players look really nice. And the stadium details look really good. I haven't played an MLB The Show game in probably 3 or 4 years, roughly. And I was pleasantly surprised with how everything is really well detailed, well thought out. The scoreboard looks really similar to what it looks like down there at T-Mobile. The view that you see right here is very similar to what it's like when you're watching an actual Mariners game in terms of the presentation, which I really like. The scoreboard there above the center field bleachers looks very accurate. The text looks great on T-Mobile Park. It's just a very picturesque and well done, well thought out execution by the guys there that made MLB The Show. I was very happy with that. And yeah, the shadows, every little detail I thought was very, very good. The only complaint I have about the graphics is that some players, you're able to get a better idea of, I shouldn't say it like that, but certain players, the more higher profile ones, it seems like they have more attention to detail in terms of how they were developed and designed. Their resemblance to their real life counterpart is very, well done, but some other pitchers or players, I should say, not exclusive to just the pitchers, but other position players, that maybe are not as good of a team or they don't play as much or more of a utility guy. They just don't have the same visuals that someone like an Anthony Rendon or a Mike Trout might have. So that's my only gripe. Some player details are better than others. So with all that being said, for the graphics, I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10. The stadiums look really good, as you saw briefly there with T-Mobile Park. The attention to detail is there. Most of the players look good, but some of the players during my experience with MLB The Show don't have that same thought-out intention or the same attention to the detail that other players have. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the game from the batter's view and discuss the performance a little bit in depth here. The game overall ran pretty well. I thought that it was a smooth operation. With MLB The Show, I think you're going to be doing a lot of stuff offline. There are some online features and different game modes that can be fun, but for me, at least when I'm playing a sports game, I like to try and do like a franchise mode or a play now mode where I'm just doing stuff on my own. And based on that experience, I thought it was good. The game itself does have a lot to offer, and like I said, the performance overall was just really solid. Smoothly run game, not a lot of issues, but if you do decide to play online, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by how it performs there. If you're doing the Diamond Dynasty mode, if you're just playing head-to-head online against another player, that's fun as well. But I just think, again, the overall idea and gameplay of MLB The Show you'll be doing is mostly stuff on your own. So just basing it off of that, I thought the game ran well. Not a whole lot of glitches in the game itself. When I was playing this game, it ran smoothly. Or even doing the Road to the Show, which is the game's, I think, key game mode that other people might find more appealing, which is where you start your journey in the minor leagues, then work your way up to the pros. That was also very smoothly run because you're not really relying on online connectivity for that. So really briefly, I want to highlight the home screen for MLB The Show, which is where you start out when you load the game in. And you can see there's these different tabs, which I'll get into in a minute. For Diamond Dynasty, as you see, there's You have to get these player cards, and it's just a lot more complicated than I care to talk about. As you guys can see, you can create things, custom leagues, play with friends, play now, which was the gameplay footage I was showing you earlier. Franchise, pretty cut and dry. That's the fun game mode, I think. March to October, you basically play the key parts of the game and see if you can lead a team to the playoffs. Road to the Show, pretty self-explanatory again, which is sort of like My Player in NBA 2K, where you start in the minors and work your way up the ranks. And then there's other things here where you can spend money, see what you have in your inventory for the other game modes like I was mentioning. Cool game modes here, Home Run Derby, which is a lot of fun, retro mode, a little old school, a little more low-key, postseason, which is the closest thing us Mariners fans will get to a real-life playoff run. And then, yeah, the settings, all that stuff. So those are just the different tabs that MLB The Show has. Now, for the performance, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. This is a game that you can play mostly offline, which is nice. But if you decide to play online against someone or just want to challenge yourself, it will run well, and I had no issues during that portion of my experience. So the final component to talk about is the entertainment and what you can really get out of this game. Now, I was pleasantly surprised by this game mode, which is the Road to the Show, and just how creative, how much customization there is. This is a game mode that you'll probably be able to get the most entertainment value out of, actually, because of just how much time you need to invest, how much growth, and just all the different type of attributes you can give to your character. And it's just a really intentional, good, well-planned out idea. And as you see here, I'm going to be a pitcher with the player I create, and it's just nice. You can choose different, methods. You can be, an accurate pitcher. You can be a power pitcher. You name it. And the customizational features, which, in past MLB The Show games, they haven't been as good as this. And I was really pleased with that. They definitely give you quite a variety and an array of choices to make. And that's cool. It is a little intimidating at first because it seems like these are some big choices that you have to make, and they'll kind of set the foundation for your player, and then the personality. Are you going to be a fired up guy? Are you going to be laid back? Are you going to be a leader? Someone that the team can rely on? It's just really cool. As you see, I'm going through the different attributes and what type of personality you want, and that's cool. The different traits can affect how you interact with teammates and affect your performance as well. A lot of intangibles there and variables that will I think determine the trajectory of your career in many different ways. And then you can the appearance, all that stuff, you can change it up. I'm not really doing any of that right now in the sake of time. You can see you can really give your player any type of look you want. There's different animations, music. That's really cool. You can create a stance, music, if you really want to do that. Equipment. Do you want to wear a turtleneck? Sure, we'll go with that. Cleats, all that stuff. It's really just intentional. There's every little detail. I know in past game modes where you kind of start out like this, or in 2K, the My Player mode, it seems like it's a little more quicker and not as customizable as this. But I feel like it's cool to have a lot of gameplay stuff rather than big cutscenes. So you see right here, this is the scout day and just the early on portion of the Road to the Show. This is just where you get to show what you have, showcase your stuff, and the scouts will determine, this guy's good or what his future looks like. I thought that was a really nice and creative touch that will definitely be worth your time and an important part in your process to get to the show. So overall, for entertainment, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. The Road to the Show game mode is fantastic, and it's going to take up a lot of your time, and it could easily be where you invest the most of your hours. The franchise is fun as well, and so is the Home Run Derby, but I just feel like those can get a little bit repetitive after a while. So with all that being said, let's take a look at the final scorecard for MLB The Show 20. The graphics are an 8.5 out of 10. The performance is a 9 out of 10, and the entertainment an 8 for a final score of 25.5 out of 30. Overall, MLB The Show is a fantastic entrance to the baseball franchise, and I think it is a lot of fun, and you'll be able to get a lot of time out of it as well. All right, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in and listening to my thoughts on MLB The Show 20. Like I said, this game was a lot of fun, and I haven't bought an MLB game in a long time, so it was kind of a throwback in a way. I enjoyed it. The Road to the Show game mode is a lot of fun, and I think that's where you'll be able to get a lot of time and hours out of. Let me know in the comments section below what you thought about this game as well, and if you have played it. And until next time, guys, have a good one, and we'll see you later.